Hello. I'd like to talk about something that I did yesterday. I sat here at my desk and I read through the entire book of Luke while also listening to it in audio form. And I enjoyed it, and I wanted to talk about some ways that it benefited me. It was good for me to see some things like one of the themes that I saw creep up time and time again was faith or the lack thereof. There would be times when someone would come for healing and Jesus would say, "Your faith has made you whole." And there would be times, for instance, when the disciples could not cast out the demon. They asked why, and he said, "It's because of your lack of faith." And so I noticed that time and time again, that Jesus commended people for their faith or rebuked people, specifically the disciples, for their lack thereof. I noticed that Jesus gave commands of obedience. He never gave suggestions, but he would always give command of follow me or command of do this, and different commands of obedience from people. I noticed that Jesus' message constantly went to the spiritual. He never dwelt on the physical, but he took things to the spiritual, like people's need for him or the way in which the Pharisees were neglecting the things of God. He always took things to the spiritual. There was constant communication of the kingdom of God. That phrase, the kingdom of God, was said time and time and time again. And it just left you with the impression that Jesus was here for a reason, to reinstitute the kingdom of God. And we know that's coming, but to see that as an emphasis, as an important point of Jesus' ministry, time and time again, it came up, the kingdom of God. I noticed Jesus' ministry to the poor and the afflicted was strong. He healed and he reached out to those in need. He said that it's not the whole that need a physician, but those who are sick. And his ministry was constantly to those who needed him. I noticed that Luke clumped events together. For instance, he clumped certain events, like you had the birth of Jesus, you had Jesus at 12 years old, and you had different events near the beginning. Then you had miracles that were clumped together. And then you had his teachings that were clumped together. And then there was this large section that was him traveling back to Jerusalem and all the events and things that took place during that journey that stuck out as a really important point in Jesus' ministry. A couple things that surprised me. One, the tension. Even though I've read this before, I still was caught up in the tension of the story, and I was surprised by that. I found myself reading and enjoying it. I was having fun enjoying this. It wasn't a chore at all. It was very enjoyable. I enjoyed a lot of the details that Luke included in the different stories. Those things stuck out to me. So that's what I wanted to share about my time reading through the book of Luke.